Alexa Bliss made her return a few weeks ago, but WWE still hasn't given us a real clue of direction that they're taking her in. So we'll be going over some fun theories for Alexa Bliss and touching on some other stories as well. Let's start off with the Alexa Bliss theory. The whole overall concept and idea of the dark Alexa Bliss is a great one. However, it feels like we're still sort of waiting for WWE to get it right and fully use Alexa to her full potential, nearly 2 years after they first turned her into this persona. The Fiend capturing Alexa Bliss to make Braun Strowman weak was a great plan by The Fiend. But of course, that plan backfired when Alexa found herself lost in the trance for The Fiend. Alexa started obsessing over The Fiend, which, as we know, led to her entering a really dark state for her character. She eventually joined Bray Wyatt, and right around that time frame of fall 2020, there was a theory going around about how Alexa may reuse that same Fiend influence that trapped her and use it on someone like Nikki Cross. Nikki was chasing after Alexa Bliss at the time, trying to break her out of everything that she was going through. Remember that everything that happened to Alexa happened because Nikki had abandoned her in the ring that night of the Fiend's attack. So Nikki felt some guilt towards all of this, and that's what made her try to free Alexa for so long. Bray Wyatt and Nikki Cross even had a stare down at one point, and then Alexa and Nikki also had a stare down backstage. So by then, the question was if Alexa was going to force Nikki Cross to join her. But like most WWE stories, that went nowhere. Nikki eventually gave up chasing after Alexa Bliss, and Alexa would spend those following few months making Randy Orton spit up black liquid until WrestleMania 37. Then after the split from Bray Wyatt and the release of Bray Wyatt, everyone thought that they'll go all the way in on using Alexa Bliss, but again, that was wrong. Alexa instead had pointless feuds with Shayna Baszler, Eva Marie, and then even faced Charlotte Flair to get pinned and written off of TV. And that brings us pretty much to current day. So as you can see, everyone keeps waiting for WWE to launch Alexa Bliss into a big program, but it never happens. And like we talked about, it's so scary because it gives you those Bray Wyatt flashbacks of a very talented individual that was waiting to get backed up by some great storylines and direction to really take off. That's where we're at with Alexa Bliss. She's a top merchandise seller and knows how to captivate the audience, and doesn't need a championship to really demand your interest. Her character and her work is so intriguing that it just really pulls you in and makes her one of the most interesting acts in WWE right now. But similar to Bray Wyatt and others, she's still looking for some proper storyline direction. So let's take a look at some fan theories that are out there and try to combine them. Like we mentioned with that old 2020 theory, fans felt like Alexa Bliss was strong enough character to lead her own faction. So for the sake of this theory, let's say Alexa does decide to run her own faction. Who would be the members she goes after? Well, considering the type of character Alexa is, she's not going to go up to superstars and simply ask them to join her. She'll obviously do it in her own dark and twisted way. Maybe something similar to what The Fiend did to her. Maybe she doesn't really give the superstars much of an option. Maybe she just forces them to join her, brainwashes them, puts them in a trance, whatever it takes to get them to stand beside her. Who are two credible superstars for this Alexa Bliss faction? Well, how about Nikki Cross and Liv Morgan? Nikki is of course going through a rough spot right now of dropping so many matches, and we do know that Nikki does have a soft spot for Alexa. They obviously have a lot of history together, and they were one of the most successful women's tag teams in recent history. So Nikki and Alexa linking back up is always going to make sense. Then for Liv Morgan, maybe she's someone that Alexa has been watching from afar and has been impressed with. Liv Morgan had a strong start with Becky Lynch just a few months ago, so maybe that was some of the little details that really caught Alexa's eye with Liv. They even interacted at Elimination Chamber a handful of times, and Alexa even eliminated Liv Morgan from the match herself. So maybe that could tie with Alexa's recruitment of Liv as well. Then once Alexa has Nikki and Liv behind her, that's when the dominance can really begin, and we can finally see Alexa get that strong sense of story and direction that she's been waiting for nearly 2 years now. Maybe they take a route similar to Toxic Attraction from NXT. Alexa Bliss captures the Raw Women's Championship, and Liv and Nikki capture the Women's Tag Team titles and bring all the gold back to the faction. It gives Alexa her first singles title in a handful of years, and the team of Liv Morgan and Nikki Cross would add some much-needed depth to the Women's Tag Team division. Sure, the Women's Tag Team division just gained Sasha Banks and Naomi, which is a big deal, but guess what? The division still only has 2 teams at the most now, so more depth is still needed. And just in terms of women's factions, that's basically non-existent on the main roster. So this Alexa faction would help out a handful of departments. It gets Alexa finally on track, adds some depth to the tag team scene, and gives the women's division a powerful faction. And you never really want to copy and paste something else that's really going on in WWE. But look at Toxic Attraction over on NXT and how all that came to be. Mandy goes to NXT to scout some talent. She finds the 2 individuals that stand out to her the most, reinvents herself, and it's been a massive success for all 3 faction members ever since. So you can use that blueprint of Toxic Attraction basically as the foundation of this Alexa Bliss faction. It puts Alexa back on top and brings 2 other superstars up with her. Would you like to see Alexa form her own faction, and which members would you like to see selected for the faction? In other wrestling-related news, Cesaro has quietly left the WWE. Reports claim that it wasn't a release or anything like that. Cesaro's contract expired, and it wasn't a big deal because Cesaro fully expected to re-sign with WWE and ink a new deal. But reports claim that Cesaro was a bit surprised by how bad the offer was, and it didn't really live up to his expectations for his new deal. So they left him with no other choice but to quietly leave WWE and now test free agency. All of the superstars were absolutely devastated. Everyone on the current roster all posted pictures of Cesaro and wished him well. Even Drew McIntyre called Cesaro and WWE going their separate ways a shame. Cesaro doesn't have to wait his 90 days to compete either. Since it was a contract expiration, Cesaro is free to sign anywhere and start appearing immediately. So we'll have to see where his next landing spot will be at. But what are your thoughts on today's stories? Leave your comments below. Don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on, and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.